What's going on? Episode 2 of Spin and Yarn. Another week of May. How do you feel about that? Weather's been better this week, hasn't it? I mean, this is a Tuesday. I'm recording on a Tuesday because I'm in a good mood. And my mood is up and down like a yo-yo. Nothing medical, I don't think. It's just the way I'm made. But I thought I'd record it now because I'm in the mood for it. And you never know, could get round to Friday and I'm just not feeling that chatty. That's the way it goes with me. I don't know why, but I just go from one extreme to the other. Either I want to talk to everyone, like I do you now, or I want to talk to no one and just be by myself with my thoughts. That's it. Weird, isn't it? I don't know what it is. I've been to counselling and that about it, but they can't figure me out either. I've just broken the system, I think. You know, I went to this counsellor once, bless him. It cracked me up. I still think about it now. And I remember she turned to me and she was like, "Ollie, you're waist deep in a river and there's leaves floating past you either side and you're placing your problems on each leaf that floats past." And I remember saying, "Fucking hell, love, I'm running out of leaves here. Can you chuck me some more? There's deforestation going on because I'm running out of damn leaves." It just doesn't work for me. That's not my kind of... It doesn't work for me. It just doesn't chill my brain out. I don't know what's up with me. I don't know if there's something medical. Maybe in the future the technology will be there to diagnose me. But for now, all we've got is this podcast, so we'll have to deal with it. For me, hitting the bag, punch bag, heavy bag, doing 10 rounds on that is what makes me feel good. That is my kind of relief. It just calms me out. It mellows me out. I absolutely love it. Exercise is damn good for you. Damn good for you. We weren't meant to be sitting around doing podcasts, trying to get a few laughs, hopefully. No, we weren't meant to be sitting around doing nothing. That's not what we were meant to be doing. We're meant to be getting our heart rates up, sweating, working hard. That's what you should be out doing. I don't understand these people that have their life, mediated by medication if it's in under their control. So if you're born with it and it's like type 1 diabetes or genetic or whatever, fair play, I accept that. But if you've eaten yourself into medical conditions or you're just inactive, so you're taking stuff for high blood pressure, get off your fucking ass and do something. You've got no excuse, have you? Really, you haven't got an excuse, but you'll hear them all the time. I think you've got to set a good example for the kids as well, because I personally believe that kids, and I've got nothing to back this up, this is just me spitballing, I could be chatting absolute waffle, but I think on the whole, kids are just doing less exercise than they used to. And I'm not just talking about getting involved with sports or games, just general activity I just think is a lot lower than it used to be. When I was a kid, my mum used to say to me, I'd see you at breakfast and then you'd be out for the day and you just wouldn't come back home again, until the evening. I was just out having fun, being, doing physical activity. Didn't have a phone. Thank the Lord we didn't have social media back then. It was just fun, because when I was about, how old was I? Probably about 7. I moved out to this village away from Coventry, the city I grew up in. And there was quite a few young families that were my age. The kids were my age, and I got some really, really good friends. I'm still friends with them now. And we used to just do that typical build a den, go out on your bikes. I remember there used to be, the village we were in didn't have a shop, no shop whatsoever. It was at the Stone Age. I don't even think we had the wheel at that point. If like a fire went up, it was like a bunch of people pounding their chest, dancing around it. Anyway, so the next village over from us, Willoughby, it was called. It was probably about 4 or 5 miles away. That had a shop, a tiny little village shop, and it sold sweets, which was obviously at that time in your life as the Holy Grail. So I remember me and my friend on the weekend used to cycle all the way to this shop. And, 5 miles when you're a kid, like that's a long way. And it wasn't just a flat terrain either. Like it was up and down, we were burning calories, and we used to get to this shop, and I used to get £2 from my parents to spend in this shop. And back then, it used to get you so many sweets you didn't know what to do with them, and I used to fill the carrier bag with sweets and hang it off my handlebar, and ride home face full of gobstoppers and stuff, just absolutely living the dream. I thought that was peak life back then. It's crazy, isn't it, when you look back, how simple pleasures made you so happy back then. I wish I could go back to them times. So you used to ride back with your carrier bag, and I remember one fateful day I'd got this huge haul of sweets, so I was absolutely buzzing. And we used to go down this huge hill. I had this like downhill racer, and I remember stonking it down this hill. I must have got to about Mach 3. My face is flapping around in the wind. I remember a sonic boom going off, scared off half the bird population for half a mile around. And the carrier bag full of my sweets swung into the spokes and just exploded everywhere. I'd lost everything. I'd lost my haul. And up to that point, I remember that was the most emotionally crippling event that ever happened in my life. My box of Dolly Mix had exploded. That stuck with me for a long time. That was a painful event back then. And that was a regular weekend occurrence. Me and my friend going on these mad bike rides all the time. We were always active. And, in the winter months, it's winter, isn't it, when you get conkers? Yeah, I believe it is. I remember going miles out, absolutely miles out. Myths and legends would be passed around the village about the best conker trees. Do you remember that? Like, before everything was, like, exposed on social media for a like. It used to just be like, there was a little bit of magic left in life, wasn't there? Like rumours and stuff, like, is that true? I remember we used to have like legendary conker trees you used to have to go and explore, and we used to cycle miles for these things and climbing up trees in the middle of like horizontal rain. It'd be considered too dangerous nowadays, but back then it was just kids having fun. And we used to get these conkers, you'd bake them, you'd put them in vinegar. You do everything you could to have the best conkers, and we used to go into school with them and compete with other kids, and that was like, if you won back then, that was top dog. That was bragging rights. Do you know what I mean? You'd be casually swinging your conker around, like that was like the equivalent of having like the best car back then, or I was going to say the biggest dick, but I didn't think that'd be appropriate. I've said it now though. So biggest conker, biggest dick, same comparison. So, that was absolutely great. And I remember things like Pokemon cards. Do you remember that? That was crazy. That was just mad. When Pokemon cards come out, everyone was after that shiny Charizard. It was just insane. And they're worth hundreds and thousands of pounds now, they just changed our lives, I remember. And what were they called? Soccer pods or something like that, and it was a chocolatey egg thing where you had a football figurine in, and the bases of the players was like the rarity of it. And I remember like a gold base was like super rare. I just remember all that stuff. It was, my childhood was fucking amazing. But the peak toy when I was a kid was, I don't want to say laser challenge. It wasn't laser challenge, but you used to wear a pack on your chest and you used to get a gun. And you used to be able to press this thing on the pack that used to make you invincible for like 20 seconds so no one could shoot you. And I remember it used to go like, bah, 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 bah. It was like an insane noise that's like permanently etched into my memory. And you used to be able to press like a max blast on the side of the gun to do more damage to an opponent. So about 12 of us in the village ended up getting these laser challenge pack things. And we used to just be out all day, every day, sprinting around the village, just living the dream. That was peak childhood. I mean, fucking hell. We went through more batteries than like Tesla did, explosives and fire as well. Like when you were young, for me, I'd probably, like, looking back, I was probably like some undiagnosed pyromaniac. We were always making little fires and getting bangers. My friend used to go to France, and it's crazy to think now, but he used to bring back BB guns. Can you imagine doing that now? No chance. But he used to bring back these BB guns, and we'd have like BB gun fights, you know. And some of these things, I remember his dad used to go shooting, so he always had clay pigeons in the garage. So we used to shoot these clay pigeons with BB guns, and they would smash these clay pigeons, and we were having like fights like that. Do you know what I mean? Like going into school with like dents in the side of our head where we'd been hit by this gas-powered BB gun. Absolutely crazy, looking back. And I remember what else he used to pick up. He used to grab bangers. Do you remember them? Them little red bangers. He used to bring them back from abroad. And one day he went away to France, and he come back with what I can only describe as a stick of fucking dynamite. This weren't no banger. Like, at what point does a banger stop being a banger and becomes an explosive device? Well, this thing was as thick as a rolling pin, and the fuse on it like a shoelace hanging out the damn top. I remember thinking like, wow, that is going to cause some damage. And we held on to it for quite a while before we did anything with it. And one summer's day, I said to my friend, we got to do something with that banger, man. That absolute unit of a banger. We got to do something with him. We've been hanging on to him for ages. And he said, well, what should we do? I remember in this village we were in, there was a lot of like budding horse riders. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I was twisted as a kid. There was this massive pile of horse shit in the road in the village, and I told him, go grab that banger. And I remember sliding this banger / dynamite right into the middle of this giant horse shit, and I remember us giggling and that, thinking it was going to be funny. I lit this thing. We went and ran into the little old school phone box, and we're like laughing our heads off, and this thing exploded. And I just remember this ringing in my ears, and the phone box got covered in this horse shit, and it set off like car alarms for about half a mile down the road. This shit went everywhere. It was on the roof, up the trees, covering the neighbour's cat. It just went everywhere. It caused like actual damage. And I just remember us running home. You know, you used to like split off. Like he'd go one way, I'd go the other. And I remember running all the way home, and my mum being like, what are you up to? What you been up to? And I was like, no, nothing. And the next day I remember it being in the little village newspaper that this like horse shit had just been decimated and covered all the cars. And they were keeping their eye out for any vandals and that. So that was a good time, I remember. But yeah, it just makes me sad to think that kids now, I'm sure they're making their own sort of memories, you know, and I hear my little brother say that online they got some good friends and, you know, they chat about a lot of stuff, but I just feel like it can't be the same, surely. It can't be the same as, you know, going out with your mates, building a den, getting up to mischief, getting a few scrapes, getting covered in mud and that. You know, I think they're missing out, I really do. Anyways, that's enough about me blowing up horse shit as a kid. We've had a few questions to the podcast this week. So the first one being, hello Oliver, I'm a big fan of your podcast and in need of some serious advice. This lockdown is taking a toll and I just can't seem to get motivated to train. What do you suggest I do? Motivated to train. Well, I feel like a lot of people are struggling with motivation to train at the moment, including me, to be honest. I think the main thing about people that train regularly that they don't tell you is you're not always going to feel motivated to train, yeah? Like, I don't roll out of bed and think, let's go, baby! Nah. Sometimes I roll out of bed and think, fuck burpees. Or, you know, running, or I gotta hit the bag. You know, you don't feel motivated every day. Or I don't, at least. I don't want to talk for everyone. I'm sure there's some people out there that are, you know, buzzing to train every single day, but I'm not one of them. But what I can tell you is, even though I don't feel motivated to train every single day, I get it in anyway, son. I get it in anyway, okay? And that's what you gotta do. Even those days you absolutely cannot think of anything worse than training, you've got to do it anyway. That's the difference between the people that achieve results and people that don't. So what you need to do, and that was Dave, by the way, that sent that in. Dave, what you need to do is you need to find something you're passionate about. A fitness, something that can get you fit that you're passionate about. That could be cycling, that could be running, that could be boxing, badminton, tennis. I can't tell you what it is, but you need to try out these things and see what floats your boat. Because people come to me all the time and they say, just give me what's most effective. You know, if it's like sitting on a treadmill for an hour every day to burn calories or whatever, I'll do it. And do you know what? There are a few people that will, and fair play to them. But most of the time, the people that say that to me end up burning out and, you know, not achieving what they want to achieve, because you just can't do it. You got to make sure you enjoy it, my man. And I can't tell you what that is, but you need to find out for yourself. And another thing you need to do is set yourself goals. All right, it sounds cliche as fuck, but it's true. And don't just set yourself, you know, I hear this all the time, I want to lose 24 stone in 6 months, you know. You need to set yourself realistic goals. And if it is weight loss, like, you know, if you want to lose, I don't know, 4 stone in a year, break it down into smaller digestible chunks. So instead of thinking I want to lose 4 stone in a year, well, no, think that, but break it down even further. So by the end of this month, I want to lose, you know, 5 pounds, 4 pounds, whatever. Because then you'll continually feel like you're achieving something rather than just chasing that long goal, which you'll burn yourself out on. You need to give yourself that little dopamine rush. You know what I mean? That little sweet, sweet, sweet dopamine rush. That little feel-good feeling. And if you can give yourself short goals and reach them, you'll get that nice dopamine rush, that feel-good feeling, and that'll keep you motivated. Even on the you know, the dark days, even if you're struggling, that'll keep you moving forward. What else do I suggest you do? I don't know, man. You get all these, like, cliche quotes that people put on Instagram and stuff, don't you? Like, what the fuck is that all about? You read some of them and you just think, oh my God, you know? I don't know. I'm trying to even think of one, but they make me laugh, you know? Like, life is like an iceberg, and like the tip of the iceberg is success, but you have to climb that iceberg. And I don't know, you know what I mean, them influencers that put up stuff like that. It's just not realistic, you know. You need more than a quote to get yourself going. So yeah, what I do, find something you love, find something you can measure, make sure it's achievable, and that's it, Dave. It's as simple as that, my man. The hardest part is doing it. That's it. You know, you can come up with the best plan in the world and all this, and sometimes I think, oh yeah, you know, if I just run this far, then I'll achieve this and that. Sometimes you just got to put your trainers on and run out the door. Just get it done, my man. Just start. If you start, most of the time, you'll push on. But if you never start it, I don't know. Fuck me, I'm starting to sound like one of them Instagram influencers. I know, I was just taking the piss out of. Yeah. Anyway, Dave, there's a few points for you. Good luck with it, my man. I made a right hash out of that. Next question. Hang on. And this is from Des. Hi, Ollie. Do you answer questions about anything? Well, I'd think so, Des. I've just spent the last 15 minutes chatting about blowing up horse shit. I don't think you'll push me over the edge. I'm 18, and there's a girl I've known since I was young. We've always been close. I met my girlfriend 3 months ago, and we couldn't be happier. I think I love her. Well, you're 18, my man. You're going to think that, but, you know, good luck to you. My friend doesn't like my girlfriend and thinks she's controlling. And now my girlfriend has told me I can't speak to her. Hang on. My friend doesn't like my girlfriend and thinks she's controlling, and now my girlfriend has told me I can't speak to her. Okay, so your friend doesn't like your girlfriend, but your girlfriend has told you that you can't speak to her. You can't speak to your childhood friend. She locked me in a room once so I couldn't go to a school project because there was girls there. I think it's cute, but my friend says she's manipulative. What do you think? What the fuck? What do you mean, what do I think? You're 18 years old, man. First of all, don't let your girlfriend tell you what to do. You do what you like. And then she locked you in a room, your girlfriend, because there was other girls present at your school project and you think it's cute. Mate, that is not cute. That's not cute at all. Like, you're 18, you're young. What's this? It doesn't say, but I assume this is, if not your first girlfriend, one of your first, serious relationships. Mate, you got at least a decade until you hit your prime. You shouldn't be worrying about stuff like this, and you should most definitely not be putting up with someone locking you in your room. Mate, 18. Get out of there, man. There's plenty more fish in the sea, as they say. You've got a lot more to come. What, you going uni? Mate, Freshers Week, you'll be living the dream, trust me, as long as you're not socially distancing like these poor freshers have to do now. But freshers will open your eyes, my man, yeah? You won't be worrying about this sort of stuff when you get to freshers. Yeah, man, you got to knock that on the head. That's just not... that is not right. That is toxic, as they say. Get out of there, my man. Get out of there and live, son. You got a life to live. But I appreciate you writing in all the same, even if that's not the advice you wanted to hear. Because this podcast is all about honesty, yeah? And that's what I'm trying to do. It's completely just off my head, off the cuff. I'm not writing anything down. Maybe I should write a few things down because there's something about the microphone. It just, I don't know, it interrupts my trail of thought. I'm not sure what it is, but this podcast is all about honesty, and I think that's a really important thing, you know? And everyone always says to you, growing up, don't they? The most important thing is to be honest. But they never mean it, do they? Nobody ever actually means that. There's very few people you meet in your life that are 100% honest. Never mind with you. Most people aren't honest with themselves, and that baffles me, man, because I'm brutally honest with myself, to my detriment, but it has also allowed me to achieve a lot of things in a short space of time. And I think the ability to be honest with myself and address things that I don't like about myself, or at least look to try and address the things I don't like about myself, has allowed me to get myself to a place at a young age in my career that I'm happy at, you know? And it also allows you to form better relationships than you ever thought possible. And I'm not just talking about romantic, I'm talking about professional, your friends. And let me tell you something, yeah? Friendships, if you can be honest with your friends, that is the best feeling in the world, you know? And I got some really good friends, and holy hell are they honest. They are brutally honest, you know? They will beat you over the head with honesty, but you do appreciate it, yeah? You do appreciate it. You don't want to be surrounded by yes men and women. I tell you that. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. You don't want people just nodding along and agreeing with everything you say. It's not healthy. And when you're honest with people, they might not like it. And I don't mean being honest as an excuse to be horrible and mean to people. That's not being honest. Sometimes it's better to not say anything at all. But if you're honest about stuff when people ask you, sometimes they might not like it. They definitely won't like it. You know, I've fallen out with a few people over being honest. But I'll tell you this for free. They will respect you for it. And they won't tell you that. A lot of people won't tell you that. But I can tell you it's true. They will always respect you for it. And if you're a personal trainer like me, being honest with your clients is another big thing. Absolutely. I rate that as your top priority as a personal trainer is to be honest with your client. Because if they've gone out and smashed a Colin the Caterpillar cake over the weekend, yeah, you're not going to do them any good by just saying, yeah, well, you know, sometimes you got to let yourself go and that, and you got to enjoy things. Nah, having a slice of Colin the Caterpillar would be enjoying yourself. Smashing that caterpillar to bits and leaving nothing but his little feet that are inedible, that ain't like letting yourself go. That you ain't doing them any favours by reinforcing that behaviour. Yeah, you're doing them a disservice. So if you can turn to your client and say, that is not good, what you've done there. You could have treated yourself, you could have had a slice of cake, but instead you've smashed that caterpillar to bits. Look, there's nothing left of him, man. There's his little shoes left on the plate, you know? And they might not like it, what you're going to say, but they will appreciate it, you know? And I think the fact that I can be honest with my clients, has allowed me to maintain and build a really strong client base. Well, I know it has. So any personal trainers out there, I can't recommend being honest enough. And just anyone out there, be honest. Be honest with yourself, and be honest with other people. It's the best thing you can achieve in life, I think, anyway. But what do I know? Anyways, so that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed that one. That's episode 2. We're on a roll, and I'll see you next Friday.